Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? Okay. Last week, there were 5 members of a certain leftist group that were arrested in Atlanta, where law enforcement reportedly found flares, gasoline, and other items to make certain things, okay? And this cell, if you will, it's a terror cell, was reportedly throwing gas bombs at cars while also carrying out acts of arson and attacks on locals and government officials. It's terrible. For what? What message are you trying to get across other than idiocy? But over the weekend, unconfirmed, okay, this is unconfirmed, but worth paying attention to, if you will, about this radical left-wing group. They planned on carrying out acts of sabotage during the Christmas week, during the deep freeze that's going to be coming our way, okay? Especially up north in North America, all right? Now, acts of this sabotage against domestic power infrastructure, the ones that we've been seeing, the ones that I've been talking to you guys about, they've multiplied in their chaos by sub-freezing weather, which makes power loss extremely dangerous for a variety of reasons. It also makes emergency response and power infrastructure repairs activities more risky and more difficult to complete. Though these left-wing groups taking out the electrical substations during extreme cold weather events, it's kind of like a asymmetrical warfare, if you will. It's carried out by those who wish to achieve maximum carnage and loss of civilian life. And for what reason, I'll never understand. Now, these left-wing types, these groups, okay, have a long history of these acts against rail lines, bridges, and other critical infrastructure. But in this next coming week, there's another factor at play here that may be part of this planning of these certain cells, if you will. Many of this group's supporters if they take down the power grid on or around Christmas Day, just think about this. If they take it down on or around Christmas Day, okay, they will literally achieve the snuffing out of the lights of the day of Christ. Just think of it that way. This would be like an extra credit, another notch in their belt. And it's, I can so totally see them doing this. And it's wrong on so many different levels. But for this reason, we should all be like paying attention, head on a swivel, listening to cautionary alerts, all of us Americans, to be prepared to endure deliberate acts of infrastructure sabotage carried out by these groups over the last few weeks, okay? The sabotage of the power grid infrastructure has taken place in North Carolina, in Oregon, right? And then there was also one in Washington State. Now, The MSM, because you can count on them, right? Immediately leaped to false conclusion that it was activists that might have been involved, that there hasn't been a shred of credible evidence presented to support these claims. And generally speaking, okay, I don't feel that conservatives, they would not sabotage infrastructure, okay? For the simple reason that conservatives we're all, we're business owners, managers, we have day jobs, okay? And therefore we need this infrastructure in order to function. In contrast, these radical, and I'm not just talking about, normal Democrats who, live the good life and stuff like that, and they want for the best for their country and their family. No, I'm talking about the radical left-wing activists, okay? They're the ones that are jobless, they own nothing, they don't care, They see the functioning of this system as a threat to their communist philosophy, and they have like no skin in the game. They don't want to keep this country running. The vast majority of infrastructure, like tourism, if you want to call it, events over the last 6 or so years are traced back to these types of groups. So if you note the fact that these groups, okay, the same location where the power grid was recently sabotaged, okay, in North Carolina, in Oregon, and Washington State, okay, just think about those three, okay. This is what was said about what happened there, okay. Members of the Redneck Revolt believe themselves to be armed revolutionaries from the working class who share the same communist vision for America's future. In their view, the working class should be in charge of a country with no government. And they believe in total abolition of everything, including the police. No. Stop trying to defund the police. Stop it. And this group, this Redneck Revolt, is also opposed to capitalism and wealth in general, and is seeking to raise up a militant resistance capable of bringing about total revolution throughout the United States. Now, what sets this group apart from other groups is that this group looks more like a militia, even attends like gun shows and community events. Some of them may even look like conservatives. And if you were none the wiser to any of these tactics and agendas, you wouldn't be able to pick them out. So it's also been revealed that the group contributes to a far left website known as Going Down that has conducted armed demonstrations in the past, which were anti-45 demonstrations. And on the website, there's a PDF document that promotes an armed struggle, while another is dubbed the mini manual of the urban guerrilla. Now, the latter document contains pictures of left-wing militants using RPGs and outlines tactics for guerrilla warfare, including sections of sabotage, kidnapping, executions, armed propaganda, terrorism. Now, I'm just trying to make sense of all of this, which I'm sure you're trying to as well. It's not easy to make sense of any of this. It's really not. Okay, so now you've heard of Bloomberg, right? Bloomberg News. Okay. They were actually all in with this revolt, this redneck revolt group. Okay. And they were actually calling for sabotage and property destruction in order to achieve some sort of twisted climate justice outcome by destroying things. That's not how you're going to achieve any kind of goal, man. You can't. Here, I'll put up just so you could see the title here. And now look at this. Okay, you know it's a magazine. It's called The New Yorker. Look at what they've decided to put up. And it's like, is this a joke? Are you really seriously trying to encourage people on what to do? Look at this. Something seriously needs to be done here, okay? Because you're having these publications that are they funding these groups? It wouldn't surprise me, but they're pretty much writing an instruction manual on here's an idea, go do this. It's blowing me away that these publications have not gotten into trouble. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think so. All right, guys. I can't talk about this anymore because I'm getting sick. I'll see you guys in the next one. You stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping, and as always, fear less. Ciao.